Greetings, folks. Have you ever heard the most odd take ever? Well, actually, good and evil are just morally subjective. I disagree, because I know the face of evil. And when you gaze in the abyss, you might blink or realize you were born in it, your very action molded by the gaping darkness. But what if the true abyss was the friend we made along the way?
What do you do when you jerk off to someone?
Like with
Don't
you?
you dream about them?
No, with you. Like, so I have jerked to you, but what I jerk to is more or less how I can terrorize you. Like, you know, it gives me so much pressure, especially in games, that the amount of how much I terrorize you, I make you not be able to sleep, give you like the most horrible thoughts ever, gives me more and more joy than like dreaming about sleeping with you.
Thank you for my next YouTube intro, by the way. This is an update for my Death Knight build, a fully hybrid melee summoner setup, even though it's more suited for first-person gameplay due to the weird way two-handed animation tend to get stuck against our minion, unless you're playing with a spear because somehow the animation land more consistently. This build comes fully online at the end of Act 2. You can decide to level up however you want. You can invest early into the warrior perks and play more as a melee playstyle. You can as a pure summoner, or you can even play directly as an hybrid, as a Dead Knight. In the leveling section I will explain how. However, due to the heavy requirement of our summons, and melee also requires quite a good investment, our melee damage will suffer a little bit until we are at higher level. In this video I will go through all the necessary information, gear, how to get it, perks, attributes, and more importantly the Sarras skill tree. Let's begin. Okay, let's look at our gear. First of all, the weapon. If you played the previous version of this build, then you know that we use a Trixie's axe. Yes, I refuse to try to pronounce again whatever this thing is spelled. I have no idea. It's an excellent weapon. This one comes from the Stone Warden village in Act 3, part of the main quest, really, so I don't want to spoiler that to you if you're new. However, you are guaranteed to get this axe. The alternative that I like more if you play in third person is Hefty Spear and all spears melee because of the animation. To get Hefty Spear you need to kill all the 3 duelists, there is one for each act. Afterwards you go in Act 3, you sit on the throne and then you will face your destiny. For summons, you can use any summon as you want. Of course, the Knights of the Round are stronger. In the description, there is gonna be a video of where to find all the shrines, one where to find all the summons and all the magic. For Act 1, Grindilo are amazing, really strong. For Act 2, Master Assassin, really strong, really powerful. In Act 3, Remor Warriors are really good as well. So, choose what you want. For our helmet, I was really undecided for this one, so my oldie and main suggestion is Usurper. The reason is that with the new Sarras Perks, we have more benefits in having 6 summon down against 5, because this is the only item that can do this. Usurper comes from the main quest in Act 2. Instead of Usurper, you can use Crystal Helmet. That one will give you more damage based on point and endurance. I will go through the location of Crystal Walker Helmet later. For Gauntlets, really one option. This build is kinda restrictive gear-wise. Hexgrip, Vambrace. This is how we convert spirituality into physical damage, and we stack spirituality because it's the only stat that really matters for our summon. It will increase their health, their damage. So, Hexgrip, Vambrace, there is no replacement. For our back item, we're gonna use Winged Cavalier Backplate, part of a crafted set that you will lock in Act 3. Before this, when you kill Abigor, you will use Escape for a long time. For Amulet, you can use any amulet that you want. There is gonna be a small but it will depend on how much mana you have and if you can afford your summon. So if you slot in mana relics from armor, you farm mana relics in Act 2 next to the city at night, then you don't need Archdruid, because Archdruid only will give us like amount of spell power. This is the new game plus version. The base game Archdruid will give you even less spell power and even less mana. It's gonna be 20 spell power and 20% mana. So, if you can fix your mana without Archdruid, it will be better. You can use Pendant of the Endless Study. The location of the pendant is gonna come with the gloves and the outer rings that I will show later. Pendant will give you more spare power depending on your level. In alternative, you can use Novice Ogre Hunter. You can craft yourself Stone Warden if you need crit. It can help a little bit. 10 is not a lot, however, sadly, it doesn't matter. New Game Plus, base game, doesn't matter. Stone Warden Talisman will still give you 10. You get this one from doing the Blacksmith quest line in Act 2. The quest line starts in Act 1 from the Blacksmith in the keep. You need to do a bunch of crafting stuff and then you can work your way there. There are also Fire Amulet, Cold Amulet. The Amulet is the least important part. What matters to me is that you have enough mana to afford your summons. For chest, I don't like to recommend the item in every single build, but at the moment Undertow Bloom Vest is really good when your perception is a little up. Before Undertow, however, like in the previous build, Doublet of the Last Jest is best when your perception is low, especially with Hexgrip. Vambrace, that's gonna be a lot of damage. So the reason why Undertow is good with a decent amount of perception is that every point in perception will give you 5% critical damage, 1% critical chance, and 8% sneak damage. So with this chest, we almost double the value of every point in perception for our damage. Critical damage is extremely important in Fall of Avalon. For pants, we're gonna use Crystal Walker. Same for the pants, also part of the same set that you can get in Sarras. This one does two things that are useful. Armor will make you more tanky, but on a melee build, we convert armor into melee damage thanks to the best offense perk in practicality that you're gonna take. Otherwise, Walker Warborn from Act 3. For boots, only one option that I recommend because this build needs to hit crit cap. So, Crystal Walker, no brainer. For rings, Confessor comes from Sarras. It's a small dialogue check. It's the only item in the game at the moment that will give you spirituality. We're gonna use alongside if you have mana sustain. Not everyone will have mana sustain. A lot depends on your level, on how many points you have in spirituality. So reduced conjuration will come with Hexgrip of Embrace. Get it. If you don't have mana problems and you don't need conjuration, well then use a critical strike ring, use a physical damage ring, use whatever. Before you get these two items, you will use normal mana ring. In the leveling section, I will show all the starting gear that I used for this build. And that's the gear for you. Now let's go through the attributes, then the skill tree, and then the Sarras stuff. Okay, let's look at our stats before I pop a potion of origin to show you how to allocate attributes. We want to cap critical strike, of course. Melee and critical damage are quite important. If you're gonna use Undertow chest, your critical damage is gonna be much higher. If you don't, you will gain more melee damage. Minimum requirement for this build, well, first of all, the strength requirement is gonna change depending on your weapon. 13 strength if you're using Hefty, if you're using Big Bonk, if you're using the Lightning. Endurance 15 is the minimum. If you're using the Crystal Walker helmet, you can allocate more. Ideally maybe 30 depending on your level, of course. Dexterity is gonna depend. If your main weapon doesn't have a dexterity requirement, well, don't put dexterity. We want to have at least 20 points of spirituality, and then perception is gonna be tailored depending on how many critical strike item you have. Okay, fine, pasta, who cares? Damn it, you've talked for like 20 minutes now. Well, probably not 20 minutes, but yes, I like the sound of my voice. Not really, but still. Okay, 3 ways to do this. If we want to go full warrior, then you can directly forget summons, get 13 strength, you use Big Bonk, you massacre anything, and then you fix this endurance to 6. This is the path of the warrior. If you are planning to go summoner, 6 and 6 to start out. If you're planning to go as an hybrid in the clips that I showed, then start with 6 spirituality, 3 strength. So you can use the Wolf's Owl, 15, 6 endurance, 7 strength, 10 endurance, 12 strength, or 13 depending on what you want to do. Then 15 endurance, so you can use the Crystal Walker stuff. Now, if you are aiming for some of the later stuff or you want to put dexterity now, you can. And then we go with 10 points in perception to meet our author requirements. After you did this, remember, spirituality is our main stats. We get spell power from it, we get mana, we boost our summon. Then pump that perception and try to have a decent critical chance. Let's look at the skill tree. So before you ask, because I don't want to go through points 700 times because of the 3 ways that I suggest to level up. If you start as a pure melee, you start in strength, you take the points in strength early. If you start as an hybrid or as a summoner, we start in summoning spirituality, very simple. I will go through the hybrid way of doing things. 1 point in summoner battery, 2 points in prepared ritual, 2 points in astral bond, prepared ritual, power conduct 1 point, invocation of might, max summoner battery, 1 point in worthy sacrifice. This will happen a lot. It's gonna be an amazing way of self-healing all the line. And for now, everything is done here. Then we go in practicality. 1 point in born in armor, inner strength. We go in strength, max godly physique, weapon of the great theft, executioner. Then we go back in spirituality, get mana battery to maxed, into-ended, 3 points in brutish fighter, fury without fatigue maxed, mighty blow. We go back in spirituality, 2 points in invigorating energy. We go in perception, 1 point in extra lucky, 1 point in critical cascade. We go back in strength, 1 point in unstoppable force, 1 point in unstoppable impact, dominating presence, enduring strikes. And for now, the melee section is done. We don't have that many points. In Red Death, as soon as you lock Red Death in Act 2 when you do the hospital questline, Plague Warden. Plague Warden is the difference between you being alive or dead. Simple. Then we go in Perception, max extra lucky, 1 point in Respite. If you're gonna use the Drasmus Spear, or you're using a damage over time relic, a bleed relic can be gotten from Ugue in the All Mother Temple's camp in Act 1, so you can spare yourself points in deep wounds. 2 points in critical ages and other sources of mitigation. Then we go in practicality, armored skin, the best offense, in Red Death, max crying pain, long regret, give in and give up, 1 point in grief to enemies, whipping success, arcane teaching, 3 points in increased vitality, 3 points in perpetual swings, max born in armor, max go for the eyes, bloodthirst, 3 points in exploitation of affliction, mana infused blood, feeding frenzy, power conduit. If you are playing as a mystic for Sarras, you will have a choice to make because you can only get 7 points for playthrough. So if you go battle mage, you can benefit from arcane conduit for extra damage because battle mage will allow you to make your weapon pass off as a wand. Sometimes that perk kinda bugs out, just need to switch weapon and reset your mystic. So arcane conduit. If you play on this other side, with the summoner side, you will not be able to take battle mage. So we talk about that later. You have 9 spare points, you can put them 1, 1, 1 until you get unnatural resilience, fully unstoppable force, and this is the perk tree for you. Now let's go through the Sarras tree. The points that I will advise you are, well, Mana Spring is forced on you, Mini Macabre, 2 givers. Now the other points that I suggest are Recovery Focus, because we want to take Relic Hunter. Now, of course, if you're not a lazy person like me, kinda burnt out from having to replay this game for like 40 times to keep the guides updated, you can farm Relic on all your characters. And this will help you a lot because it's a lot of mana. And afterwards, as I said, Battle Mage for a little more damage, or Summoner Curse. There is also Arcane Smite. However, I did not test Arcane Smite on this build because fully kit yourself with mana relics, probably afford to use Arcane Smite. But if you don't, well, that's gonna be a problem. Okay, now let's go through the best start, the early leveling, and then the location of all the stuff you need for this build. Okay, let's begin. What is the best start possible for this build? If you play the tutorial, you have many opportunities to get extra experience. For life path, we want to start as a healer because we want to have blood transfusion. Get the HP statuette. Get the pickaxe. Get the potion of origin. This is the first optional NPC we can murder. If you don't want to kill him, that is up to you. Let's drop down. Afterward, let's give a potion. And then we want to kill the Berserker Monk.
It should still. They wouldn't.
You'll suffer for your sins.
And then, if you want, we can also kill her for extra XP. This one is the strongest NPC in the tutorial. You need to be very careful. What we want to do is that we are gonna bait her until she gets confused, and then we can just attack her without being punished. Get the shovel, then kill the Wailing Effigy. Okay, afterwards, you can kill Mr. Karadok Mongold either here or on the shore by jumping on the ship. Now, this was a very transcendental experience for me because this is the first time that I can kill him out of the boat. It's not really that hard. Sometimes he can bug himself and then you need to kill him again. But don't worry about it. You go in and then execute.
You'll pay for that. Impressive hit. But it'll take more to defeat me. Pay for that.
Do all the druid shrines. Get the mana ring from doing the small jumping puzzle in the tavern.
Oi, Noel. What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip?
Then we want to immediately go and get our Grindilo summon.
You disturb my peace.
There is a small amulet that will help you a little bit with mana that you can get on your way for Spellslinger set.
You are nothing but a... You're nothing but a peasant. I've had worse. You'll pay for...
Get the Spellslinger set, you just need 6 points of spirituality to equip it, and it's quite powerful.
Stay sharp. We'll make short work. I will bleed you. You'll fall to my sword. This is my luck. Blow for blow. You're in for a world of hurt!
Get the Priestess Cloak to help out with mana recovery. Get the Silent Weaver wand. This one is useful to lower the cost of summons. Afterwards, do all the bounties. The location of the bounties are in the keep. You can easily find the posters there, and then it's extra XP, gold, and free items. The two bounties that you need to kill, especially if you're playing hybrid, are Rusty for the Bone Mace,
Mate. I'm not giving...
and then the weird giant dude for the giant sword. And that's pretty much my suggestion for leveling. Before you go in Act 2, make sure to use the right entrance, not the left one that is harder, and make sure to keep your summons updated.
You're no match for our band. This is my lucky day. Your gold belongs to us. If you're seeing this message, it means... My king, I understand that what... My king, I understand that what Merlin and I have done was against the laws of nature. You know how many...
True and any folks. To exist. Exactly. So here, I think maybe you.
And that's it, folks. Thank you for watching if you got this far. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing for more content of questionable quality and nature. If you have any questions or doubts, let me know in the comments below. I'll try my best to come back at you in reasonable time, unless I'm sleeping, of course. Have fun playing Tainted Grail, and I will see you in the next video.